this product at Lowe's a couple days ago and thought it might be able to handle the issues that I'm having with my door over here with the blinds. Let me show you. So my blinds on the door, you'll notice down here at the bottom, they come with anchors. So when you open and shut the door, it's supposed to keep them from flopping around. Well, as you look down here, that one looks like it came out, but what happens is these little nipple things, they break off and it just flops back and forth. So what I found was this thing from Lowe's, and it's called a add-on blind for doors. And as you can see in the picture, it's just goes on the outside of the doors and the blinds are built in. So supposedly it's pretty easy to install. So that's what we're gonna try to do today. To take the blinds off, to take down. One thing I did wanna show you though, they have two different models. One I have, they make is for, like what I have, it's raised where it comes over. With the glass, it's raised, it has a frame around it. Another one they have is flush, and they also come in multiple sizes. This is, the one I have is narrow apparently. There was one that was a little bit wider, and then all the dimensions and everything are on the box, but it was actually not too bad priced. It was about 159 bucks at Lowe's. So we'll determine once I put it on if it's worth it or not. So let me finish taking the blinds down and we'll go from there. So according to the directions, you need to loosen these up on the corner. So as you can see, I have this one up here. I was trying to pull it out. It didn't come out. So I'll show you on this one. It says to just get a screw, go in here like that, just drill in a little bit. Be careful. And then it just pops out just like that, and it relieves the screw. So you just have to do for the corners on the top and the bottom. So we'll finish that up and go from there. So you want to loosen these up. This one I've unloosened a little bit already. Just be very careful, loosen it some. This one here, loosen it. You have to remember that this is glass that you're working with, so you want to be careful. Also, we're going to slide some holders on the side of this frame, but you might also, if you've ever painted the door or anything, you might have some paint there that's keeping it down. So I'll show you what's next. We have to measure up from the bottom down here up a little ways to put the next holder. So I'll show you how that is. For my particular application, it says that the holder needs to be at 11.5 inches from the bottom of the door. So that's what I've done. I measured, got my mark here. Also have the mark on the other side of the door. So let's add the holder and see how that goes. According to the instructions, these are the bottom clips. And as you can see, one side is longer than the other. The best that I can determine is the short side goes in from where we measured. Let me open this up just a little bit more. Okay. The short side will go in just like that. Bring it down to my measurement. It's 11.5 inches. So now what I can do is tighten that back up. You want to be very careful with this because this is glass. You want to do it by hand, and that's pretty snug. I can feel it. Come down here and tighten this one up. Pretty snug. Remember, it's glass. Be very careful. Tight. Now, if you want, you can put your plugs back in. But this thing that we're getting ready to hang will cover all of that so you don't have to worry about it. So all we do is now do the same thing to the other side. So let's get that other clip. The next part of install is the top brackets. Now there's a left and a right. You can see this one barely, but it has an R in it. This here also is the end stop on the door. And this also right here keeps it from going down too far. So I've installed the left side. Let me show you that one. This is the left side installed. So here's where I was talking about the stop. So it won't go any further. The middle piece keeps it from going down. And you just do the best that you can to adjust that. And then we'll just tighten our screws back up for this side. Before I do that, I'm gonna do the other side and show you how that goes in. Now this one, I had to pry it open, well, actually this side, I had to pry it back a little bit, but I'll show you how it goes on this side. I have this one just started. I had to use a tool like this, just pull down on it just a little bit to pull it out. But we have it in there. Just a matter of slide it in. As you can see right here, this needs to go over just a little bit more. So I pull it over and I pull it down, and that looks pretty good. If this is too tight, what I also did, I took my razor knife and just slid right across here and here, just in case there's any paint. If not, and you're not able to get it, also there's another hole here. You can loosen this one up a little bit if you need to. But if you just take a little bit of patience and work with it and use a tool like this or something, or even a small flat screwdriver, you wanna be careful that you don't indent the wood right here, or in this case, it's metal. Just wanna be careful. But that looks like it's in there in pretty good position. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm gonna tighten our screws back up and get ready for the next set. And as a reminder, when you're doing it, remember this is glass, so you really wanna be careful. That's the last thing you wanna do, is try to do improvements and then cause more damage. But so far, it's going pretty good. Now I feel it just snug there, and it feels like it's in there pretty good. Okay, get it in there. Tighten it down. It still looks good. From where we are, fairly level. Snug. And we'll do the same for this side. The next part of the process is now to hang it. So there's a red piece here that needs to come out before we install. This keeps everything from moving while it's being installed, shipping and all that. So this needs to come out somehow. I pretty much had to manhandle it, so you can see it's got like a clip there, and it was just down in there, so you just pull it out. The sticker was also on the window, so you want to make sure that that comes out, that's on the inside, and just clean up any residue on that. So I'm going to do that now, and we'll get ready to hang it. Up here, you'll see that there's two slots, one on each side, and that's what these clips up here are going to catch into. So the next part is to just lift it up and make sure it fits into those. Have to get my ladder, I'll double check. Okay. Definitely both in, so that's good. Now it did say if the lock gets in the way, there's a filler strip that can be removed. So let me see if we can move it over some, because there is some adjustment. Okay. So I pre-hung it just to make sure everything would fit okay. And on where the locks are, the deadbolt and the regular lock, there's not enough room there. So this kit, which is pretty cool, actually has a filler strip which can be removed right here, and that'll give room for the locks. So it doesn't give you instructions on how to do that, but from what I'm looking at, it looks like all you have to do is just squeeze these little tabs and push them down. So what I did was took my pair of pliers and squeezed these tabs together a little bit. So now what I can do is just lift it up and pull it off of there. All right, let's see if that makes a difference. All right, I believe everything is adjusted correctly. So the best thing to do is put it up, tilt it out a little bit, have it hang on there. What I'm gonna do first is check up top. Make sure it's in, so it's all in on that side. Yeah, it's in on both sides there. So over here, you'll see what I was talking about, where it was hitting the door. So the frame is still out, but you can see the actual door thing itself is up against the wall. When I was talking about the fill strips, this is a better view of it. You can see where it came out and the locks. You can see where the thing came out. I also believe too that you'd probably be able to adjust that to where I could have left this piece up here, cut it, and then just took the bottom piece out instead of doing the whole strip. So it says not to operate these until this is on, and I can see why, because it could come apart and go out of the track. So this makes it go up and down, which is very nice. This side opens and closes them. Down, middle. And if we want to lift it back up, just pull down. It goes up. For 159 bucks, I think it's definitely worth it to me. So when we open and close the door, the blinds will no longer slap back and forth. So that was the whole idea of this whole thing. So we'll let it go for a while and we'll see how it goes. So that's the install. It took me probably about an hour, and that's what the instructions say to do. If I would have had all my information or all my tools together instead of hunting for things, it probably would have been a little bit faster. But actually it was fairly good. The instructions that you get online or on the paper were not the greatest, but it's not overly complicated. It's just a matter of looking and piecing it together and figuring out. I measured 11.5 inches up, it says, but it doesn't say is that the bottom of the clip or the top of the clip. So you just have to adjust it. I figured out it was the top of the clip is the 11.5 inches from the bottom. So anyway, thanks for watching, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.